course record and win in my second one. So I decided to try it nationally.
Speaking of training, let's go ahead and roll the tape, guys. We caught up with you today at the North Shore Pool, and triathlon is swimming, running, biking. Talk a little bit about training. I mean, how much do you do during the week to, stay in shape and be ready?
A professional will have to train a lot, close to 30, 40 hours a week, depending on the distance of races he or she races. And it's pretty grueling. It's 60% cycle and 30% of running, and then probably 10% of your time would be swimming. It's pretty rigorous. That's close to, like, I'll give you it in miles if that helps you better. Probably like 12,000 yards of swimming, and then probably 200 miles on the bicycle in a week, and then 30 to 40 miles running.
Having won this thing the past 2 years, I guess they're out to get you now, or?
Yeah, they're out to get me. I'm pegged. But I like that, being in that position, because then I can dictate the race and make it happen the way I like it, versus trying to race somebody else's race the way they want it to happen.
Quickly, the best place we talked earlier for spectators is to be, and I got about 10 seconds.
Okay, in the transition area, you can see the athletes change from one sport to the next. You can see how graceful they are in their maneuvers and how they prepare themselves for the next challenge.
The St. Anthony's Triathlon is Sunday morning, but actually everything starts tomorrow. There's a bunch of events in downtown St. Petersburg. Wish you good luck on winning this thing for the 3rd year in a row.
Thank you, Bob.
Donna Peters, the triathlete and 2-time defending champ of the St. Anthony's Triathlon. Now, we'll see who's going to be the champ in our trivia question. Let's find out who knows their Orlando Magic trivia. Before Shaq scored the 53 last night, who held the Magic record for most points scored in a single game? It was Nick Anderson, hit 50 against New Jersey, I think. Tonight's winner is Herb Blake, who's watching us in Oldsmar. Herb, we're going to send you the 44 News at 10 t-shirt, and you're going on a cruise. So watch the mail. Those things will be there soon. Tomorrow night on First Sports, our golf tips, and Pat Boyle will tell us about the ultimate challenge, riding Kumba. Can't wait. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow night.
This portion of 44 News at 10 is brought to you by G.
Bob was with the Bucs yesterday in Chicago. I shall say no more.
I'll tell you what, I grew up in Chicago, and you leave for a while, and I guess you become a wimp or something. Because, 15 degrees, I thought, well, okay, no problem. It was cold. Yeah. And the players will tell you they can mentally block that out. But you can't block out the field that's frozen and a heavy ball and things like that. The Bucs said, now, that was no excuse because both teams, had to face the same conditions. But the Bears have done it more often. Right. So just like anything, you do it a few more times than your opponent, you're going to be used to it. Yeah, so a tough loss for them. Win would have still had them in the playoff picture, but they didn't get what they wanted up there. Many people thought that the injuries and the death of Fred Washington would leave the Chicago Bears ripe for an upset. What many forgot is that the good teams don't rebuild, they reload. And that's why the Bucs have been left to just play out the season. In the cold, crisp Chicago December, the Buccaneers' playoff hopes went up in smoke. But at least, if only for a moment, Richard Williamson's offense separated itself from monotony.
11 guys on the field wanted to go for that. Coach tried to take credit for that, but he can't really. We wanted, we were out there yelling for him to let us go for it. We really believe we can make it.
In the second quarter, the game was tied at 7 when the Bucs faced a 4th and inches at the Bears' 11. Field goal, forget it. Under the loose, go-for-it regime of Richard Williamson, the Buccaneers did exactly that.
We always on the sideline wanted to go for it. Coach Rich said he accepts responsibility on it. But we don't agree with that. We don't feel it's his fault, because like I said, we all wanted it. We all wanted to go for it, so we went for it.
Reggie Cobb got the call, but the Chicago defense countered both his first and second efforts. This play did not determine the outcome of the game. Instead, it was a signal that under Williamson, the Bucs are learning that if you don't make things happen, they won't.
I think it was a good call, and the offense didn't get it done. He told us at halftime that he cost us 3 points, but he really didn't, because when we get our number called as an offensive unit, we need to converge and make the plays happen.
After that play, it was pretty much downhill for the Buccaneer offense. They just couldn't get anything to work. The wind chill was 3 degrees below zero, and it definitely affected what the Buccaneers wanted to do on offense, while also dictating what they couldn't get done on defense. The Bears understandably adjusted to the conditions and tailored their offense to take advantage of their southern rivals' inability to cope.
They threw timing routes. They knew that we couldn't break up on the ball quick. They ran the right routes for the type of conditions.
You know, when you run a lot, you also throw in a lot of play-action pass. And we knew that the Bears were going to do that, and they did that. They executed well and came up with some big plays.
Yes, the old play-action pass. Now, every Monday night, the Buccaneer head coach drops by our studio to talk about Sunday's game. And tonight, Richard Williamson had these comments about the Windy City weather.
In this league, you got to be able to adjust to those kind of situations, because you're going to go to those places where you have to do that. And we obviously didn't adjust very well to it, but it was very cold. The footing was very treacherous. We had some guys that really had a problem standing up. We had some shoe changes we had to make when we got there, because the ground was hard and it did not thaw out. In fact, in some spots it got really slick. But they played well. Chicago played well. They played better and got better as the game went on, and we didn't.
Exactly. The Buccaneers will close out another disappointing season this Sunday when they host the Jets. And remember, that one starts at 4 p.m. Over to college hoops right now. Here's your new top 10 poll. Running Rebels sitting on top, and followed by Arkansas, Syracuse, Arizona, and my alma mater, the Indiana Hoosiers. The Buckeyes come in at number 6, Tar Heels at 7, Duke's 8th, St. John's is number 9, and the UCLA Bruins are number 10. Well, the College Bowl season will continue tomorrow, 7 days before the big ones are played on New Year's Day. Late this afternoon, representatives from the Hall of Fame Bowl got the ball rolling when they welcomed the Clemson Tigers and their head coach, Kenny Hatfield. The wife gets the roses. Kenny, a box of those Ybor City Stogies. The Tigers had been practicing in Orlando and finally decided to make it to Tampa today.
We've had a great game each and every year, and so we're just happy to have the opportunity to come and show some of the Tiger spirit around.
Snap, they drop off, no rush. Nada coming from the left side, drops it down.
Well, it doesn't quite have the status of a bowl game, but the Sports Challenge, played in front of a huge crowd, will return tomorrow. A couple of guys who work for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers decided to challenge me and my intern to a game. You will see the result and some pretty fancy moves right here tomorrow, Christmas Day, on the 44 News at 10.
Now that looks promising, Bob. You're kind of, what is it, 0 and 52 on the Sports Challenge?
Well, you know, you can edit these things to make them look a certain way. A big trade in baseball. I want to get this in. White Sox got Tim Raines today from the Montreal Expos for Ivan Calderon, pitcher Barry Jones, and some minor leaguers. So White Sox and Cubbies up in Chicago making some deals trying to get that top prize. But yeah, the Sports Challenge tomorrow. This is another pretty good one. You'll have to wait till tomorrow to see who wins. Right.
Well, Bob, you have a good Christmas.
Same to you.
Heading toward 11 o'clock, here's the latest on stories we're following on 44 News. The cold weather that's covered the rest of the nation is...
Exercise program. And along with cholesterol, body fat, and heart function, the researchers track the details of these men's sex lives.
If you've been with us all night, then you saw sports director Bob Alvarez shove a big old piece of sweet potato pie right in his mouth when he was talking about sports earlier.
I'll tell you, Art Dixon works up in master control. Between his mom and his wife, they can cook up a storm.
Some good eating.
Oh, he always takes care of us during the holidays. But, you know, I think I needed to eat some of that sweet potato pie because we've been exercising with these fitness tips for so long that I've become hard and lean. And Bill Gavoich says we're going to give you the holiday off, which is why we won't have a fitness tip tonight. And so eat up, get a little extra on you, and we'll work it off in the next few weeks. Yeah, so we'll be back with those next week. We have some basketball for you tonight. You know, there are many rivalries within the NBA, but few compare to that of the Pistons and the Bulls. The two got together this afternoon at Chicago Stadium, and the Bulls stalled the boys from the Motor City. And Bulls coach Phil Jackson, what did you get for Christmas? Maybe the tie, a nice one. A Scottie Pippen jam time on the baseline. Now watch Isaiah Thomas go high off the glass. Pistons on top by 3. Second quarter, Tree Rollins going to get the old jump hook. Pistons up by 9, but here comes Michael Jordan, scored 15 in the first half. Chuck Daly would see much more of Michael Jordan. At the end of the third quarter, Jordan weaves his way to score 2 more. Bulls won 98-86, after which John Paxson told Bill Laimbeer, "There's some coal in your stocking." Bill Laimbeer's reaction? The bad boy, surprise. Well, 5 days a week I sit here and, well, we talk sports. You know, once in a while, I like to get out there and show you that I can play these games. We call it our Sports Challenge. Number 5 is sports intern Todd Wright, and as we warmed up for this Sports Challenge, I quickly realized it was too late to get a new pair of hands, but the bright side was that if we lost, I could toss some of the blame on my partner. This challenge was put to us by 2 guys that work for the Buccaneers, Dave Levy on the left and Paul Royak. Nice game faces, guys. They insisted we go through the traditional coin flip, and maybe this was a bad sign. Coach Williamson then shouted a few words of encouragement, and it was time to get it on. These guys wasted no time. On the game's second play, Royak made a pretty good catch, and it was 6-0. On their second possession, they went with some trickery, and again, Todd got burned. It was 12-0. I decided we needed a change in the defensive backfield, and that didn't help either. I thought I had an interception, but Royak had the better concentration, I guess. On their next play, they scored again. Yeah, real nice, guys. Can't you think of something original? We were down 18-0, and we needed help. Tim, we're having a tough time defensively. Anything we can do here?
I think I need to try to employ the services of Sandman, Harry Hamilton, maybe myself. It's bad.
Well, can we wrap your leg up real quick and get you out there?
It's going to cost you.
Oh, well, we'll talk to you later then. Actually, we needed to start talking with our offense, and we did.